Hi, I'm Dave Eckstrom. I'm going to be your physics teacher, looks like, for this semester. I'm just producing this little video as a kind of a personal introduction. It'll be tacked on to the more formal look at our syllabus for the year. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself and just personally invite you to engage with me as your teacher. Some of you already know me. You may have had me in homeroom, or maybe you had me for a chemistry class or some other class prior to this semester. I've been teaching in Hayward for about 15 years now. It is 15 years. And I taught for a year in St. Paul before that. Prior to that, I had a career as an engineer. I was a mechanical engineer. Went to school at the University of Minnesota some years ago now to learn how to do mechanical engineering. Enjoyed that career, but I'm enjoying teaching, I think, even more. I really like the idea of being able to help people grow and learn and incorporate their knowledge into a kind of a way of life that involves learning and growing and continuing to assimilate information and solve problems. Because I think that's really the key to happiness for a lot of people, is how much you know and how much you have. So that's kind of why I do this. That's why I teach for a living. I grew up in northern Wisconsin, not this far north, but on a farm somewhat south of here. I learned a lot by just paying attention in school and paying attention in life, and working with my family on the family farm, and that's really stood me in good stead. And I hope to pass on the information that I've gathered and the kind of the skills that I've gotten over the years by being a student myself. I haven't always had an easy time in school. It's not necessarily always related to schoolwork, but sometimes when I just had a hard time meeting expectations. And so if you feel a little bit like that, you're not alone, and I understand what it's like to have a tough time in school. So I can sympathize, and I encourage you to seek me out, get help from me. My office door is always open. I'm always happy to try and help kids in any way I can. So come learn with me. Thanks.
One of the things you're going to want to do for sure in this class is to be able to get help. You're going to be doing a lot of work. Some of it's going to be fairly difficult, challenging, hard for you to figure out on your own. So you need to know how you can get help from me. There are several ways to do this. One of the easiest is to visit the class website. There will often be answers posted there. Often will be solutions, complete worked out solutions for the problems that you're trying to solve. I'm not making it any secret how to solve these things. That's my job, to teach you how to do that. So I will model good practices, good problem-solving skills, and I would expect you to look for that stuff and pick up on it. So the class website's a good place to go. And you can find other resources there as well, links to better teachers than me, other teachers than me, and some other resources that are available. Another thing is you can come visit me in person. This semester, my prep is third period. So during third period, you can stop by anytime, or before school, that's another place, or after school, another time that you can show up at room C109. C109 is the cave. It's the little tiny office. It's in the back of Synergy Central here in our science department. Another place to get help is call me, especially if you're at home and I'm at school. You can call this number here. That's my extension. If I'm not around, just leave me a voicemail. Even in the evenings, I may occasionally be here doing some work. You can also email me. This is my school email address, and I'll check that certainly during the school day, and I often check it a few times at night as well. There may be some other ways to contact me that'll be announced during class time, but the website will be a pretty good source, and then also my email. And then this is my home phone. Feel free to call me at home, but if you do that, I prefer that you stay around the pre-10 p.m. time, because my family lives with me and they might not appreciate the late night phone calls. But feel free to call me before that time, and I'll be glad to help you as much as I can over the phone, and then maybe we can set up something else if not able to solve it by the phone. How will you be different when you're done taking this class? How will this class make you a different person, a bigger person, intellectually, emotionally, and the other ways that you grow in class? Well, one thing is, I'm hoping, if you're successful, that you'll look at the physical world in a different way. You'll look at it with more understanding. Instead of just looking around and being mystified by things, you will have deeper and deeper understanding. There will be less things that are a mystery to you and more things that are understandable, explainable, even predictable, and that might help you in your life. Another one, and this is big for physics. Physics is all about trying to simplify this very complex world and take out some of the variability and express what we know about the physical world in terms of mathematical models. That's a big one. Instead of thinking about, here's a car rolling down the road, a physicist will think about the numbers, the data behind that car rolling down the road, and what does it mean, and how can you predict the behavior of that car, or a spacecraft, or a ship, or a tiny little particle that's moving through space. Mathematical models help us simplify and make good predictions about the world. I'm hoping that you will become a better problem solver. I see this as a really key goal for myself as an educator, is making people better problem solvers. What I hope that you can accomplish is get a general problem solving strategy that will help you with all kinds of problems, not only physics, but everything general in real life going to require some kind of a strategy. Most people are not good problem solvers because they don't have a good strategy. In particular, I will teach you a strategy that's very good for solving numerical problems, and I'll give you some additional tools for problem solving, tools to help you get from point A to point B numerically. Story problems are hard for most people. That's what real problems, real life problems are like. And I want to give you some tools to make that work better for you. You'll be more prepared than you were before taking this class to succeed at higher level science classes. You may take more high level science classes, particularly physical science classes. This will help for here at Hayward High School, or you might take higher level science classes wherever you go for post-secondary education, college or technical school. This will make a good background for you. It will help you grow in that area. I hope also that you'll be a better measurer, that you'll be better at understanding what your numbers of measurement tell you and what they don't tell you, and what it means for your numbers to be uncertain, your measurements to be uncertain. And another thing is, you will be a little bit smarter if you can understand your measurements and other people's measurements and the claims that other people make about their measurements. There's an old saying that says, the more you know, the less you believe. And I think what that person who originally started that saying meant is, if you understand how measurements take place and what you can really infer from the measurements, you'll be less likely duped by people who want to trick you with some of their numbers. To be successful, here are some expectations that you should have of yourself. One is, you probably all know this if you're in a physics class, gotten this far in school, you should be on time every day. You should be there when the bell rings and be ready to think. This is not a class where you come in and catch up on your sleep. I know it's first block and you're going to be tired often, but you should come prepared to think, or you're not going to get as much out of this class as you could, and that's going to translate to a lower grade than possible. Here are some things you should bring. You should bring your calculator. You certainly want to bring a calculator with you. One of these kinds of calculators would be really good. You certainly don't have to have TI-80 whatever graphing calculator. A scientific calculator would be preferable to a four-function calculator. You're looking for these kinds of things. You want to be able to take logarithms. You also are going to want to be able to take sines, cosines, and tangents. Those are going to be important. And then there are some other features, some programming features, and some statistical features that we'll make use of in this class from time to time if you have a graphing calculator. So most of you have these things from math class anyway. It's a good thing to get a hold of. You should also bring some paper, something to write on, spiral-bound notebook or just some loose leaf paper or something. Every day you should have something to write on, and you should have something to write with. Bring a pen or pencil. I preferred when I was a science student to use pencils. And the reason for that is because a pencil is something that you can erase. So you got your pencil, you make a mistake, and you go back and erase it. Um, you should also bring notes. You should bring the things that you've accumulated over the course of the semester. There may be some handouts, probably your homework. You want to bring that along to refer to, particularly homework for the current unit. And then there might be some other things that'll be announced later on that you want to bring every day. Things not to bring. Don't bring your bad attitude. If you're having a difficult time with something, that's certainly understandable. Life is not always happy like many people would like to have us think it is. But you can have a good attitude about the lousy things that are happening in your life, and that will serve all of us well. So come in here, bring your problems because they're part of life, but bring a good attitude about learning, and we can all be successful, and we can learn from you. You can learn from us, and maybe you'll feel better at the end of the day. Don't bring food or beverages in here. There is one exception to this, and that is that you can bring H2O. I don't want you to get dehydrated, particularly if you're an athlete and you need to get water in you from time to time during the day. You can bring water in a clear container, but otherwise it's a school policy and just a good idea in the science room not to have food or beverages in here. And try not to bring a full bladder. You're going to have plenty of time in passing period to get this taken care of before class. 90 minutes is a really long time to never have to go to the bathroom during, so I understand that from time to time you're going to have to leave the classroom and go to the bathroom. But do your best to empty your bladder before you show up. Another thing you should do while class is going on is you should pay attention to what other people are saying. We'll have a lot of classroom discussion in here. You'll be working in small groups. You'll be working individually. We'll be asking each other questions, and I'll be asking you questions. And pay attention to what's going on in the classroom. Even if you don't think you need to understand or listen to what's going on to be able to learn, somebody else in the room probably does. And so it's in all of our best interest for you to pay attention to what's going on. Speak up. If you have a question, ask it, because probably somebody else is also asking that question and maybe afraid to bring it out verbally. If you have a comment or the answer to a question, or you think you know the answer to the question or a way to solve a problem, speak up. Bring your ideas and your questions to the forefront. There are no stupid questions. There are only stupid people. And you remain stupid by not asking questions. So whether you have a question or a comment, don't be afraid to say what's on your mind. Keep your entertainment where it belongs. So this is a time for learning. So the electronic devices and other ways of entertaining yourself that distract from learning or distract other people from learning, that's not to be part of our class. It's not best for you. It's not best for your classmates. And we'd all appreciate you entertaining yourself in appropriate ways and an appropriate time. Be safe. If you're doing a laboratory experiment, one of the first things that you should do is try and tune in to what are the cautions that are given, and make sure you keep yourself safe by following directions and just not doing dumb things. And be circumspect. I hope that as you go through this class, there's more than just that grade that you're looking at. I hope you also develop a love for learning that will follow you as you go through your life, because your brain is going to rot if you don't keep learning and keep growing after you get out of school, out of high school, out of college, wherever you're going. If you don't start learning how to just learn by looking around you and seeing where the connections are between physics or history or chemistry or mathematics or art or whatever you're learning in school to real life, well, you're going to start atrophying, and you end up a grumpy old curmudgeon someday. Keep learning.